I'd eat like a bag of dairy milk nibbles like every night and some squashies every night, like without fail.
A lot of people that I've spoken to already, especially, you know, talking to guys who are playing at the top level, are all so honest about how taking responsibility ends up being a positive thing. Like you eliminate excuses from allowing other people to be at fault, and usually positive things happen off the back of that.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's plenty of players that, you know, it's never their fault, is it? So yeah, that can be frustrating. You know, you try and give a bit of advice and, you know, yeah, but he didn't, you know, things like that. And it's like, no, I'm just trying to help, like, I'm just trying to say, like, do this, do that. That is quite frustrating, and that happens all the time. That happens every day, like every day in training or every game that happens. But at the end of the day, you know, you got to look at yourself and, like you say, take responsibility for whatever you're trying to do. And yeah, at the end of the day, it all starts with you, and that's all you can affect.
So how did that shift in weight in terms of your, you know, your role within the first team at Portsmouth during that time? Becoming a first team player, what did that do to your lifestyle? And by lifestyle, I mean football lifestyle. So your mentality, your training habits, how you lived your life.
Well, yeah, that's funny you say that because like I say, when I'm talking about like the year before, or the year my contract was coming up to finishing, I wasn't living right. Like, I'd eat shit. I wouldn't eat properly. To be fair, like, my knowledge of stuff like nutrition and what's right wasn't good. But like, I was living at home, mate. I'd go to the shop. I'd get like chocolate sweet. I'd eat it every night. I'd eat like a bag of dairy milk nibbles like every night and some squashies every night, like without fail. And like, my body fat was probably a lot higher. So I definitely wasn't performing at like the optimum level. And then when Paul Cook came in, things really changed at the club, and like, we used to actually do body fats. So like, if your body fat was high, it's half embarrassing. Like, you don't want it to be high. Like, when you got lads that are like 6%, 7%, you're like, you want to be one of them lads, do you know what I mean? And if you're like 10, 11%, that's not good, is it? So I think that definitely changed with me then. And that summer, I worked really hard that summer, and I tried to learn as much as I could in terms of nutrition and stuff like that, and what meals I should be eating, what I shouldn't be eating, what I need to be doing to improve. And yeah, and then that massively helped with my performance on the pitch. And then like, I went back again when I went to Ipswich. My nutrition wasn't great. Like, we never had body fat. We had body fats done once a season at Ipswich, and that was in pre-season. And then after that, it was like you could do whatever you wanted. Like, they weren't sports science focused or anything there. So it was like you could get away with it. So like, you could be lean when you return in pre-season, and then you could literally put on as much weight as you wanted. No one would probably know. And obviously that wouldn't help your performance. And I got injured too much at Ipswich. Like, I had a couple of ankle injuries, to be fair. But then I had probably 3 or 4 muscle injuries, and to be fair, I'll probably put it down to like not living right and how I should have been. And then, like I say, when I went to Bristol from there, everything's like, it's like another level, and it's like every month body fats, everything's done properly, like sports science wise and stuff. So you can't actually get away with like letting yourself go or not living properly. And that's the same at Brighton now. Like, it's every 2 or 3 weeks, and obviously we've got nutritionists and stuff, and literally everything is provided for you. So there's literally no excuses.
Can you give people who, you know, may not have been exposed to a professional football environment an insight into just what being told you're going to have your body fats doing does for you?
Your heart sinks, yeah. You get told you got your body fats, and the night before you might have had a takeaway or something, and you're like, oh shit. That still happens now, to be fair. And like, I'm not sitting here saying like I don't eat anything bad, but I just know when to do it. And like throughout the week, I'll be like really good, and then leading up to the game really good, and then obviously after the game I might treat myself and stuff and enjoy a bit of ice cream or whatever. But yeah, the body fat is a tricky one, because obviously at the end of the day, like taking responsibility, you know at the end of the day if you've put on a bit or you're not as lean as you were a month ago, or from what you've been eating and what you've been doing with your life. So yeah, it can be a nervous time when they got the calipers out, that's for sure.
I'm going to try and paint a picture for people listening about the period of time you spend at Portsmouth. 2 contrasting seasons where you're, an important first team player, but one season you avoid relegation from League Two, which is a big deal, and then the next season you're in a playoff team that's obviously looking to be successful. And by painting the picture, I mean that in Portsmouth, as many cities, but we've grown up obviously in this area, both supporters of the football club, it's enormous what football can do for the city. Like if the team's positive, everything's okay. If the team's negative, the whole feeling of the city is down. Yeah. The football team in itself has enormous responsibility to the city to keep everybody happy. Uh-huh. So during that period of time, and you've spoken about it, about receiving a little bit of abuse, especially in that season where you just avoid relegation from League Two, which I'm sure everybody's aware would have been a ridiculous thing to happen. I want to know how you dealt with the pressure of being in such a negative environment to play, and how you dealt with receiving that sort of negative feedback from supporters.
I didn't deal with it well at all. Like on Twitter and that, I used to get hammered. Like,
did you go searching for it?
Yeah, and like that's what I mean. I used to go searching for it, and like I used to get tagged in a lot as well. And like, I remember one game, mate, I wasn't even playing. And down at Butts, won't mind me saying this, but we obviously keep playing Butts as well. Yeah, Butts we played Leyton Orient away, and it probably would have been that season. Yeah. Played Leyton Orient away. We lost 1-0, I think. Butts has tried a pass back from like near the halfway line, underhit it, strikers run through, scored. We lost the game. I was on the bench, didn't play. Got on the bus after, and then like Butts has had like a bit of abuse as well. And one of the comments, I'll never forget it. It was brilliant, to be fair. One of the comments was like, "Don't worry, Dan, but like you'll never be as bad as Adam Webster like this." Like, and I was like, I ain't even play. Like, I'm getting pelters here. I'm not even fucking kicked the ball tonight. But yeah, I used to probably go searching for it, and like, I don't know, just because I came through the academy, I still see it now. Like people with Pompey fans and stuff. Just because I came through the academy, I probably thought I'd get a bit more respect than I did, and I never did until probably the season after, when people actually saw that I could play. But yeah, I still see like even like Ben Close now. Like Ben Close is like a bloody good player, and like he gets hammered sometimes. Like, and it's just like, what? Like it never helps. Like when you're hammering people, obviously every fan's entitled to their opinion and stuff, but never has like a positive impact. And like when I was young, like I was probably like, I was naive, I was vulnerable probably as well, and like it wasn't a good time for me at all. But yeah, then obviously something clicked, and things changed, and I actually started to play well, and obviously then probably they started to like me.
In hindsight's obviously wonderful, but looking back now, what do you think it was? Because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, especially young players now, where social media is such an enormous part of football. Yeah. Why do you think you went searching for information on social media that you almost knew was going to be negative?
I don't know. I think everyone's done it, haven't they? I think it's just one of them things where you half want to see it, but then you don't like it when you see it. So it never has like a positive outcome, I suppose. But I don't know. I obviously...
So speaking how you are now,
yeah.
what advice would you give to yourself in that same situation now?
Yeah, just don't even look at it like someone that probably never played the game, or especially not at the standard that, you know, we're playing it at. Someone's opinion, that just doesn't matter, and it's literally not going to affect how you're going to improve or how you're going to play. So it's just not worthwhile to do it. It's only going to have like a negative impact on you. It might give you a bit of doubt, self-doubt, and knock your confidence a bit. And it literally could be a keyboard warrior and just someone just doing it for shits and gigs. Like, it's just not positive.
Let's pick it back up a little bit, maybe, because you know,
deep.
Yeah, I am conscious that you are a Premier League player now. So the next season, you're in the team. It's, you know, it's just although you don't get promoted through the playoffs, it is successful. Like, the feeling is better. Yeah. You're in the team and you obviously feel good. You're playing to a really high level. What are the differences, between the two? How do you feel in that second season where you're pushing for promotion?
Well, we did have, obviously we had better players. I think that helped. I think, like, not slating the club here, but the recruitment, like, a couple of years prior to that was poor. And, you know, we were never good enough to be anywhere near the playoffs. Like you say, we'd done well to stay up the year before, but then obviously Paul Cook came in, brought in a lot of players, probably players that should have been playing in League One, high-end League One at the time. And, I think looking back on it, we should have gone up that year. We had it, probably, we obviously we didn't go up, we lost in the playoffs. But yeah, we had enough ability in the squad that year to go up. But there was probably like a massive culture change at the club, and everything was done more professionally, I suppose. And we had a manager that, like, was very good, who obviously done well at Chesterfield before then.
What about for you, specifically for you? What were the main differences? How did you feel?
I'd say, mate, nutrition, like, it's a massive part of it. I'd say, like, the year before I wasn't living right. Like you said, I was eating whatever I wanted to, whenever, not thinking about how it's going to help me perform and stuff. And then the next year it was, like I say, like small things like body fats and stuff. Like, you had to be on it, because if not, then you'd have to do extra sessions and stuff like that, and stuff you don't really want to be doing. So that was a big part of it. I'd say my confidence was like sky high compared to the year before. I actually believed in myself, and, like, obviously new players coming in believed in me as well, because they'd not seen me before. You know, they'd not seen me when I was struggling or wasn't playing well.
Was that positively reinforced by things you're seeing on social media at that point, or how did that change?
I don't know if I really looked at it then. I'm not sure if I did really take much notice of it then. I think I've probably moved past that by then.
It's interesting that you talk about that you searched for it when it was negative, but when it was positive, you didn't go looking.
No, I know. So I don't remember anyway. I don't remember, like, finishing a game and, like, typing my name into Twitter or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So my confidence was just a lot higher, and, like, I knew I was playing well or doing well, so I didn't have to go looking for someone slating me.